method, right? Post put mapping method for update use case. So this update method is first selecting the record with that ID, whether the user record is available or not. If record is not available, it is showing exception here, not found, which is already implemented. Okay, um, with the response status not found, HTTP status not found, so that when it thrown right, clearly user can able to see what happened with that so and so ID. So yeah, so if record is available, then what we are doing, we are calling, we are passing this DTO into manager, and we are giving that manager object into repository. Go. Please, Anil. పెట్టలేదమ్మా. Sorry, we are giving manager here with the save method. Save do both, right? It saves and updates. When we do save, right, save will do both save and update. Okay, so if record exists, it will. So usually what it is doing here, it is overriding the data. Once we get the manager object, right, we are calling save method. When it finds the record with the same ID, right, usually instead of saving it, the schema, it understands whether it should do update or save. When you pass with the same ID, it used to update it. So here we are updating the record. Same way, when there is a delete request, delete with ID. ID is sufficient for delete, whereas in update, ID with data, which all fields you want to update, we are getting here. But for delete case, ID should be enough. So we are getting ID here. Once we get the ID, calling service class delete method, service class delete method directly calling repository class delete by ID method. So it is predefined method only. So when you pass ID, it will shoot a delete call. Okay, delete SQL call internally it will make on your table with the ID. So it delete that record permanently from your database. And for select, when you want to see the data, right, in front end, when you want to see the data, one single user record, when you want to see, we have get mapping with path parameter ID. So we are using service dot get with ID, and we are using find by ID method using this ID, and using dot map method, usually it will return find by ID method returning optional object. So here what we are doing, we are shifting data from manager object to manager DTO, while returning back again in the same form. From front end to back end, we are, from controller to DO, we are getting in the form of manager DTO to entity, while giving from back end to front end, entity to DTO conversion is required. So that is what we are doing here. From manager object to DTO object, we are mapping data using this map to DTO method. So the manager data we are getting and setting it into DTO object. So if you see two methods we have here, map to DTO, map to entity. While getting data from front end, we get data via DTO. DTO data we are getting and setting it into our entity. Here the case is reverse. From back end to front end, while we are sending data, the entity object data we are getting and setting it into DTO, and this DTO we are returning it back. So once we return this to this method, right, we are sending response entity dot OK and passing the object here. So this is what final return type. It will send response code OK with your data. OK will return to 200, right? What is the status code for OK? It should be 200, I think. Yeah, 200 only it will return. HTTP status OK. And for yeah, success failure. Yes, yes. You want to put specific messages? Okay. So in that case, in this DTO, you can add something, more parameters in this DTO, or else this DTO again wrap it into a response object. Usually, we wrap it into one more object. This response is right. How you are wrapping it into response entity. This DTO itself, you can wrap it into one more object. Like this, you can construct. Okay. So you can create one more class response message with the string whichever message you want to send, message and string status, whether success or failure, and including your object entity, whichever entity you want to send, whichever entity you want to send, you can put that object here. Okay. So manager object or manager DTO object, you can set that object here. Okay. So what you can do, you can use this object here to send the response, right? To send the response, you can wrap this DTO into one more object, send that object via response entity, so that you can keep whatever messages you want into your custom object itself. One more wrapper on top of your DTO. Okay. Yeah. It's up to you. You can wrap into anything. Directly response entity with this object, if it is sufficient. Fine. Yeah. So for get all, right, when I call directly this URL without any input, a simple get method, the intention is I want to get all the manager records. So here I have get all managers and calling service dot find all method. The find all method will return list of managers, the find all, and the sorting parameter also I'm passing here, sort by ID, so that in a natural order I'll be getting data like 1 2 3 4 5 6 like that. Okay. And once I get this object via the streams, it's a list object, so using stream, and again trying to map each object into DTO, and finally returning that DTOs as a list. So list of manager DTOs are returning back here. So that list again wrapping around the response entity. So response entity of list of manager DTOs will be returned back to caller. That's it. So everywhere, right, for every use case, once you practice this, right, manager, controller, manager, service manager, DAO, DTO, and hardly how many classes we have. This is our controller, and one DTO class we have, and one service class we have, and one repository using one entity class. Apart from all this, we have one exception class for not found cases. Hardly that's it. For any use case, this is a structure that we follow for any use case. One controller, one service, one repository, and one DTO and one entity class. DTO and entity class are to carry the data. DTO will carry data from front end to controller, controller to service. From service, we carry forward data in the form of entity, and we give that entity to DT, your repository. Repository finally will persist it into database. Simple front end to back end to front end. Okay, so I want to create one more service, right? One more service I want to create for admin service. All sufficient methods we have, right? For timing, now we have manager methods. Okay, at least manager methods we have. So let me run this config server. Always don't forget to run config server, because configurations are coming via config server only. If this is down, your application will not able to fetch the connection properties. So run your config server, then run your application so that you can able to access it. Localhost 9090 Swagger UI. Okay, your application is up. So here all my methods that I have implemented in my controller. Okay, so already we have done some inserts. So let's see get method. Get with no input. Get no input parameters. Okay, so just try it out. So once click on try it out, click on execute. So it is executed and it brought one record array of which objects, manager objects, return back array of manager objects. So as we have only one object, one record returned. If you're interested to insert more, right, you can insert. That is the post method here. Use this post method, click on try it out, give the data. ID is not mandatory. India, execute. Okay, it brought the response back. ID is 2. Okay, final response status is created. So one more record also got created. So again you can check this get all managers execute. We got two records with ID 1 and 2. In case if you want to get a specific record, you have one more get call with the ID as a path input, path parameter. So here it is asking to pass ID. ID is required. ID 1 or 2. We have two IDs. When I give ID 2, ID 2 record data getting here, whichever we inserted for ID 2 from the database. Now if you want to if you want to delete or update that record, okay, I want to update the record who is having ID 1 or 2. Already I have record 2 data here. So what I want to do, I want to update that user data via this put call. So pass his ID with the data, with the data. So I want to change his email ID ymail.com and his phone number 9848022238 something. And the remaining parameters I don't want to disturb. So I'm sure it works or not. Let me pass only few parameters. Few parameters on email and phone number I am passing, whichever fields I want to update. Kali, two fields. Uh, Method arguments not valid exception. Actually, we put already validations not null, not null. So for update case also it is checking them. Usually from front end while we are sending already we will be having data. We just update the existing fields. You know, right? In front end already we will have data while we are updating it, right? Already this data is present in your front end form fields. So whichever field you want to update, you just change it and you will be submitting it. So you will be sending the complete data. For the update case also, you will be sending complete data. So what it will do, one more time it will update all the fields: name, email address, pin, phone, division, salary, and country code. Freshly it will update everything when you call it. So now your data got updated. Response says okay, your data got updated. Now if you see, right, Y mail with the new phone number we have, right, you can verify that record as well, whether it is updated or not. We got the data, so the new data got updated. These fields got updated. In case if you want to delete that record, we have a delete method with path parameter. Give your ID, call execute. It is saying 204. So that is what we return, right? 204 as a success message. We should have wrapped it with some more extra messages, right? So this kind of schema also we can have. Let's see whether that record still exists or not. Go to get all and execute it. Okay, final I see only one record, which means the record 2 got deleted. As we deleted that, it is removed. So this is how easily you can implement API, and you can share this API URL with your team. You can share this API URL with your front end team, so easily they can understand what all methods we implemented, and they can start working on the front end for this application. Okay, so here we need to implement, right, for this use case, to create managers, right, to create manager, update manager use case, we need front end for this particular use case, right? We need front end. Wireframes we have not created, so but definitely you can ask wireframes from your BA, so that they can tell you, how you want, they need the front end design also. Okay, so for time being, quickly let me take one template. Let me take one template here. So which template? Bootstrap side menu via color lib, somewhere, right? I used color lib libraries. Color lib. Okay, these all are free themes only. You can use simple lightweight themes with the bootstrap. Okay, use anything. Ah, just a minute. Okay, so you can use this link for your reference. Okay, I'm adding it here. UI templates. Let's use one template, any one of it. Okay. Mm, left side menu is good for me. So if you want to show profile pics and all, right? You can use anything like this, which is having left side navigation with the profiles. I'll be using it. Okay, I don't want to go into that stuff, so I'll use this. So this is the side menu one. So let's download it. Just download this template. So it is asking for consent. Okay. Okay. Is it downloaded or not? Okay. So the front end libraries got downloaded here. You can use Visual Studio, whichever comfortable, right? I'll be using simple jQuery only. Uh, so I can try this with my Eclipse also. I'll be using my Eclipse here. You can have a simple static web project. Okay. Can we do that here? New. So there is no static web project support. In general, or else use Visual Studio. So let me open folder, bootstrap. So the project got imported here. Okay, so this is your welcome page. Maybe you can run it or open open with browser. Or else I can directly open it in browser, so I can keep observe my changes. Okay, so this is the project we have here. So I want to change the title, so admin service, and ecom admin something. I changed the project name here, so ecom admin. The title also changed, admin service, and here you can put your required URLs. So for this home page, I want to put manage manager or simple managers. I want to add one managers link, hyperlink here, home page, right? No hyperlink you have here. You may add it slash manager slash manager screen manager.html. You may have same file. You can rename it manager.html. So you can play in this page, right? You may remove this content. In this div you can put your form or table, CRUD operations, right? Bootstrap based template, you can get it. Bootstrap CRUD operations. You can import it. So you can see manage employees, one template is there. When I click new employee, one model pop up giving. So I can enter fields and click on add. So finally it will add record here, and edit options also given. Basically we need to have some code for this. Edit and delete options also given, so you can do multiple selects and delete. Okay, nice template given. Same template you can directly use if you can able to get it. Template here no, looks nice, but how I can get this code? I need this template. So when I click on view code, it is showing me the code which is including CSS, everything. So I can copy this content. Okay, let me copy it. All CSS content. First, let's start with this imports links, some fonts, Google API, stack path, Bootstrap API using all the dependencies we have, CDNs, and jQuery also it is using. Copy them, and CSS also. Else you can keep it in a separate file and import it also. Separate CSS file also. It's up to you. So if you are good in front end, you can beautify it. Okay, you can simplify it. So script also there. Till here I'm copying until this script. In head section we have that part, right? So I'll go to my application as well, where it is in Visual Code Studio, in Manager, right? Under header section, I'll put that here. Already two are there at sketch path are already available. Still copy. If you see any duplicates, and you can delete. So these are the links that we copied. Okay. Okay. These two are the existing, right? Sketchpath, Bootstrap, CDN.com 4.7 version. Okay. So this is duplicate. Let me keep it. Two versions you can have. Or else you can keep latest version and remove the older one. Okay. I hope this is good. So CSS we have body color, table responsive color, table wrapper colors, all styles we have, and few functions also given. Document.ready jQuery function on document ready, a tooltip function is calling, and then it is calling table body input checkboxes. So each checkbox something select all. If somebody, okay, this is for a use case. When you click select all, it is checking is it checked, or it is checking them on checkbox particular click. It is you know uh, maybe deselecting or select operations are mentioned here. Okay, everything looks cool, but coming to this logic, right? The table logic, table we have to put here. Okay, so manager information table. Here I want to put the table code. This code also you can copy. So from here, right? I will be copying this complete code. We can modify them. Okay, we can modify it. I hope we are copying complete body. It's okay. Copy this body and replace. Maybe you can replace this. Okay, let's keep this inside this page content. This complete code. Save it and go and refresh and check how it looks. ecom admin. We changed the link, right? Index.html. Okay, that is not saved. Now it is saved. So here manage. Okay, when someone clicks on manager, it is loading manager page. So manage employees theme. This is really looking nice. Okay, this is some static data. We need not to use it, but you may delete static data. In place of static data, we can make a REST call to backend, and we can populate data here. And during create also, right? You can change these fields also: name, email, address, phone. We have multiple fields, right? So let's say if you are a front-end developer, by looking into this API, right? You should understand for post call what all fields you are sending it. So ID is not mandatory. So from here, if you imagine that name, email, address, pin, phone, division, salary, content need to pass it, right? All that fields need to be created here. So when you click on add, right, you need to make Ajax call to your REST controller, and you should save the data in database, and the same thing you can display here. Okay, and like how you did the get, delete, on in case of edit, right? You can use get operation, or else already object is here itself, so you can edit your data and save it on loading of this document itself, right? You can pull all the records and show it. Pagination also given, so you can apply pagination also. Server side pagination, if you want to apply, you can apply server side pagination also. Okay, based on the page count. Usually it is showing 5. If you have fixed size, right, you can put fixed size something 10, so that at a time 10 records you can show here. And if you have 10 into 50 records if you have, then it will show 5 pages. Each page will contain 5 records, and you can sort them in a order, like with ID. Already we applied sort, if you see in get all method. So in that sorting order only you can fetch it. Okay, so we will see this front end logic tomorrow. Ajax calls, this save, get, will try to apply edit, delete operations. Okay, then we will integrate it via gateway. So once we're done with this, right, for time being I will call this backend only, but later, okay, we should not use this backend. Instead of using this, right, via gateway we will make calls. We will use gateway. Via gateway we will make the calls. We'll discuss more about the gateway maybe in tomorrow's session. Okay, yeah. Code not uploaded. I will upload it and inform you. Okay, morning I will do that. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes, correct, correct, correct. Yeah, yeah, your voice is echoing. Yeah, but Yes, yes. So first we will be creating a repository first. Okay. Can you go on mute, please? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that is the order. First, you need to create a Git repository for each project. Okay. To maintain your source code, you need to create the Git repositories for all your services and front end. Here we did not follow that, but yeah, we need to do that. We will create one repository for front end. There we will put our template code, and I can ask team to fetch that code and work on it. Coming to this backend implementation, for backend implementation, I created one cloud config server. Uh, to get the configurations from the GitHub. So in GitHub, one repository, I did all the configurations. So via Cloud Config Server, I'm reading them, and the same configurations I'm fetching from Cloud Configuration Server to my admin service application. Okay, that is what till now we did for the backend implementation. Okay, for this front end also directly I downloaded and added. But tomorrow we will create a repository. We'll add there and fetch and we will work on it. So mostly I'll make it ready Bitbucket repository, and we will use it from there. Yeah. So that's it. Okay. Tomorrow mostly I'll try to cover this Bitbucket. Okay. The basic pull and commit. So we maintain the code from the repository only directly instead of doing it in local itself. Okay. Yeah. So that I can give public access also. You people can work, you can access, and you also can see the code. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll finish that front end and we will work on gateway. Okay. Then we can go to next backend service and front end, like that we can implement all backend front end services. Okay, good.